The whole world I wait for this. I make the beat drop off.
Money fall on you, banana fall on you, brother fall on you. If I broke down my business, I'ma show you go right. Yeah, beauty, my number one is tutu. Sipping bruku tutu. Bow for the result, nothing to discuss, cause I think we need it rush, when it be more. Now they make my dog in the rush. Another banger, baby, calm down. Yo, this your body, it puts in my heart for love. Good morning.
Good morning. This is my hate for Tottenham dance. I've never, ever in the history of BBK Sports led a show talking about the Tottenham. Shit. New manager bounce, you know. The new manager bounce. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry. Listen, people. Sorry. Excuse me, people. I'm a bit excited. You know, I'm 7 a.m. I just wake up and I jump on the net to stream, and sometimes I forget my manners. But good morning to you all. Morning to you nice and decent people. What you telling me? What did I wake up to? Other than Tottenham getting the sack, Frank getting the sack today. I'm of the belief that the Tottenham hierarchy looked at the schedule. Yeah, they looked at their upcoming fixtures and be like, we have to sack him now. Not just because it's Arsenal next, but because they have a run of games that they may not see another win until who the hell knows. Yeah, it could be long form. They got us, they got Fulham, and there's Palace, Liverpool, and Forest, and Sunderland, and Brighton. A world exists where we can see Tottenham lose all of those. Every single one of those games. You know what I mean? Part of it is Tottenham gives me Milwaukee Bucks vibes. And if Mr. Paz was here, he could probably relate to what I mean when I say Milwaukee Bucks. A small team who get too big for themselves, yeah? Like in 2021, I think when the Milwaukee Bucks won the NBA title and fired Mike Budenholzer, like they thought they're some type of big team. They could just get any manager they want or get any player they want. Like, motherfucker, you hit the jackpot when you got Giannis and you went on a run and you won the NBA title. Then you sacked him after one bad season. Justice for Ange. Ange won them man a trophy, and they sacked him because they thought there's something other than what they do in R. They think there's something that they're not. That's the problem with them, man. Big up to everybody, man. Let's pardon my manners as I run through the comments. Big up. Hope you are good. Appreciate you popping back in today. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. Amako, Mako. Don't know how you say your name, bro, sir, ma'am. But big up to Kwaja. Big up to AJ, the mod god. I'm confused with the raid, you know. The Raiders. Silver and black style. The Oakland Raiders. If you know, you know, people. I know the doc knows. Big up to Guna Rican. Big you up, man. Man had his live yesterday, his first live. Guna Rican, I caught the back end of it, my G. I don't know how I didn't get that notification, but now you're going to get used to doing live shows and YouTube not sending the notifications out. Then the people will come in your chat, but how the hell did I not get this notification, bro? I've been sub to the channel forever, and I didn't get a notification that you were live. You were literally wrapping up when I saw it. You may not have even seen that coming. Big up to Vigilante, man. My brother. Hope you're good. And all these links, people, all these damn legends, make sure that we are doing our due diligence and paying our manners. Yeah? It's free. Big up, man. Big up to Ryan, the Arsenal fan. Hendo's in the house. Thomas Frankie will always be a gunner. Yeah, they wanted to sack him from the from the cup incident, from Cupgate, the Arsenal Cupgate. They wanted to sack him. You know, they would. They can't stand the thought of Arsenal being top of the Premier League, deservingly so. Not a week 3 flash in the pan, but week 26, we're still there. And them man are literally down there in the dumps. Now, feel bad for Tony Blackhall because shit, man, I was gunning for West Ham yesterday to win to make it a little more interesting down there. You know, but they end up faltering at the end there. What a finish from Sheshko, from Wahaha, fellow countrymen. But we'll speak on the yesterday's fixtures in a minute. We'll talk about tomorrow's fixtures. We'll also about tomorrow's fixture. All eyes on us, Arsenal. And then we'll discuss some of the fixtures that we are going to see today. Is it going to be a case of drama? Late minute, this, that? That's still the show again today. Because yesterday was a great, you're an Arsenal fan especially, was a great day of football. Big up to Ryan, man. Big up to Monster. Your day today. Bounce once again. Big up to you. Back once again. Big up, man. Hope you are good. Who else we got? We got Mateo. We got the real bad man. We got Footy Bands and Things. And I know this is Simone. I know this isn't our darling Simone. Saying big selector, big you up. I hope you are good over there in New York. Mwah, we love you. Big up, Simone. Good day, says Social Jones. What you telling me, my G? How you feeling about tomorrow, yesterday, and today? Jagar's in the building. That's it. Them shit guys up the road, they done it again. Like, what do they want now? Like, where do they go from here? Because I seen Football published an article, and they're talking about 5 or 6 names that could potentially replace Frank. And the head of that list is Mauricio Pochettino, believe it or not. And there are Tottenham fans going through the spaces saying, bring Poch back. You see? Now, I can hear the Top Gooners from a mile away looking at Tottenham. See? They fired Poch and they didn't want to. If we fire Arteta, the grass ain't always greener. Shut the hell up with that. We don't want to hear that shit. We are not Tottenham. But there's Pochettino's top of the list, even though he's currently employed by the U.S. men's national team. Xavi Alonso is on the list. Oliver Glasner is on the list. De Zerbi is on the list. 2 other names that I forget because I am not that interested. I just had to lead with it or talk about it because it's trending news everywhere. You know, it's probably stale news in London and the rest of Europe, but I'm just waking up to it, right? 8 hours behind, so there is some lag there. Big up to Jagans, manners and respect, the general. I would say you beat them, but you didn't help us out. LFC Monster let us down at the weekend. You know, I'm so sad Frank got sacked. He could have kept him for another week. You know, that bubblegum chewing merchant panic. Now, I said a couple of streams ago that he was holding Brentford back, and he's been exposed as a fraud. Because there was a point in time last year when I was so angry at Arteta, and Brentford was performing well. Oliver Glasner, Thomas Frank, all these names I was throwing out there, man was asking me, would you take him over Arteta? I'm like, I would take anyone over Arteta at this time and give them the resources that we gave Mikel and see how it works. And Thomas Frank was one of them, man. But I was wrong. Man's a fraud. Because Brentford got rid of him. Brentford lost most of their coaching staff along with him, the same way Potter got to call his people them to sit Chelsea with him when he left Brighton. Lost their coach, the captain, and 2 key players, and got better. They got better. Brentford is overperforming this year. And then he goes to Tottenham and makes them worse. Now, it's hard to make Tottenham worse from what they were last year. And that man knew that in the Europa League, they actually had a shot. They actually had a chance at glory. They are not winning the Champions League. Them men are already out the FA Cup. You know what I mean? It's mad. Slot next. Woke up to Slot be still being in a job. But you know what? Today, when you actually beat Sunderland, you're going to be singing a different tune. You're going to start. You're going to lead the stream with, I didn't see that coming. That's what you're going to be on, Monster. No new manager can save Spurs. They have more injuries and suspensions. Yeah, because I'm hearing the new manager bouncing all the spaces talking about this. Yeah, they can bounce their way back down to 15th. That's where they are, right? They're there or thereabouts, down in 15th or so. Not trying to hear nothing from Spurs, man. Spurs can go eat a big old bag of baby dicks. We have no love for Spurs whatsoever. Even though we shook their hands a couple weeks ago when they fought back 2-2. You know what I mean? Big up to Godfrey. Godfrey, what you telling me, man? Big you up every time. Love my bro. Spurs don't play now until February 22nd, so 11 days to get in a new manager and prepare for the Arsenal for the North London Derby. We're here for it, you know? Hell yeah, we need you to help us win the league. We need all the help we can get, bro. You know? Now, we're new to this. We're new to this thing with Mikel. You know? Big up to Gary. Gary in the house. The Zerbi has left Marseille, and that's what it is, right? Maybe they have fear of missing out, FOMO, and they look at the market. Because if you remember a couple years ago, it was Tottenham versus Man United, and they called it the El Sacico, when it was Oli versus, forgot who the manager was. It might have been Oli versus Poch. Don't remember who the manager was, but both managers were under siege. And Antonio Conte was on the market. Man United won the game. The Tottenham manager got sacked, and Tottenham went and got Conte. They realized, oh, Conte's on the market. Let's go get him right now. But if they don't get anyone in time for the North London Derby, you can see the inevitable appointment of what's his name, Ryan Mason. He is their guy, or Ledley King or something. Feel good vibes. Spurs fans think they're in the big leagues, but really they are just Aston Villa level. They're there or thereabouts. Someone lied to them. Someone lied to him and they ate it up. Maybe Daniel Levy is such a good businessman that he knows he built a nice stadium in London and makes it about everything other than the football. He can convince them that they're a big club. That's why I said they gave me Mike Budenholzer vibes with the Milwaukee Bucks when they fired my NBA winning coach, when they sacked Ange, a trophy winning coach, because they think they can do better. And then this is what happens. Because they're on par to have a worse season than they did last year. Now imagine that. Imagine finish 17th and you're on track to have a worse season. When your arch rivals, or who they see as their arch rivals, way up there at the top of the table, just chilling. The Vegas Raiders, silver and black, says right. The Raiders used to be good back in the day, man. The Rich Gannon days, the Raiders were good. You know what I mean? I got a feeling that if he gets UCL for next season, he'll be here for the foreseeable future. This is not an easy task, because right now it's looking spooky there. You know what I mean? And he knows, and he committed. He admitted in yesterday's press conference that if he doesn't get Champions League football, it's a failure. But he shouldn't have said that, because now they got him in 4K. Like, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. He has signed his own sack warrant, because if he fails to hit that KPI that he's publicly admitted was a failure, then he can't complain if you finish 6th and they sack him, even if that 6th is a surge. You know what I mean? Spurs will probably bring Poch in after USA exit. It won't cost Spurs any money to bring in Poch. And if that's the case, that means Ryan Mason's going to be the interim, and that's cool, right? Because we don't want them getting a top manager before we play them. Even if they get a top manager, I'm still backing this to pack them in. You know what I mean? Monster, I feel like you have conference coming. I don't even know the Conference League music. You know, I was gonna say, ooh, I don't know the Conference League music, man. But it looks likely, isn't it? And Chelsea had the opportunity. We get on to Chelsea in a bit. I was more disappointed in West Ham than catch up with Forest rather than Spurs 7 points to United. It's mad. I wish he had stayed in it. I wish he had stayed so we could pack them in one more time. Are Spurs more likely to stay up or go down? Oh, it's a good question. I think honestly speaking, I don't think they were going to go down either way, right? I think Burnley and Wolves are for all intents and purposes good. And if you got Spurs, Forest, West Ham, and Leeds, right? There's one relegation spot, and you have 4 teams, quote unquote, fighting for it, for lack of a better term. Yeah. I don't think Spurs will get some of their injured players back just in time to stay above it. Yeah. At 26 games played, 12 games. So from 36 points, I actually think Tottenham can muster up the 11 required to stay up. Because you might not even need 40. 40 used to be the magical cut. They may not even need that. Big up to Darren, honors and respect. So I think they were staying up anyway, AJ. It's just the relegation cloud hanging over them is good enough pressure for them to give shit and stinky results. Squeaky bum time, because they haven't been in this position before. Because even last year when they were bad down there, the other teams were just worse. I'm surprised De Zerbi isn't on the list. He's on there. He is on there. I just couldn't remember all the names. De Zerbi is on there. De Zerbi, Xabi Alonso, Oliver Glasner, Poch. There are 2 other names on that damn list, if I may. I probably can't find it now, because when you refresh sometimes on some of these damn websites, the articles that you were reading or what was current just disappears. Shit. Yep, can't even find it now. Gone. But it all went wrong for Frank. Poor Frank. 6 contenders to replace Thomas Frank. There it is. Oliver Glasner is the 6th name. Xabi Alonso is the 5th name. De Zerbi, 4th name. Iraola. Andoni Iraola is on the list. Xavi Hernandez, the Barcelona legend, and Pochettino. Those are the other 2 that I couldn't remember, because I don't think Xavi is that crazy to take that shit job. But big up, man. Big up to everyone. Hoping Slot will be on the list too. Ten Hag was on their list. I remember they rejected Ten Hag back in the day because they said he didn't have any personality. You know what I mean? Even Glasner seems like a fraud. You know what? I hear that, Ryan. I actually hear it. What we saying about De Zerbi, though? We know the football is good. We know Spurs will sacrifice winning in the name of good football. They did it under Poch. They moaned about how bad the football was under Conte. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah, man. Big up, man. Big up, Gunnar. I'm glad you saw it, man. G. Glad I could be there and be a part of your first live show. Glasner has the results. The late results of Glasner in the running have been kind of shaky. Big up to Gunnar SC, man. Hope you are well, my G. Given the time spent, I agree with that, AJ. But I was thinking the same thing about Frank when he was when he was pulling up trees at Brentford, and then maybe that was his level. Maybe Brentford was his level. I heard from people that Ruben Amorim will win the Prem in the next 5 years. He will win in FIFA. Bring him back. Bring him back to the carpet. Give him 3 at the back. He can play Dragusin, Van de Ven, and Ramiro in the back 3. The thing with Tottenham is all those players that are there are gearing up to leave. All of them. All the ones that are good enough to warrant a move. I know Mohamed Kudus is probably looking at his peoples like, what the hell have you men advised me to do? Why am I here? You man said going to Tottenham would be a good move for my career, and bam, within what, 2-3 months, it's already gone tits up. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on there, Joins, but I do know what's going on with my brother Cooper with a super sticker, a $10 super sticker. Cooper, my G, my brother in arms. Thank you for your service, my bro, and thank you again. This is it's amazing, man. Thank you. You're far too kind. Round of applause for Cooper. W for Cooper. Love. Big up for that, man. But I don't know where that Amarim one came from, Ryan. I didn't hear that one. That is mad. But I think, yep, Pinocchio. Cue the managerial merry-go-round. They're ready for him, Lynch. They're going to go after Xavi Hernandez, Xavi Alonso, Glasper, De Zerbi. Other than being, playing in a nice stadium and living in the city of London, like Spurs don't really have a draw right now. Like, what are they gonna sell? You're gonna sell this project, and they send them the list of injury players and say, when these guys get back fit, we'll have something for you. I don't know. My uncle was saying in the summer, if they sign Johnny Cardoso, their midfield problems will be solved. Imagine that. Jesus, Godfrey. Imagine that Spurs Stadium being a championship ground. Brother, speaking of championship, we touched on Leicester yesterday or the day before. We were talking about Leicester could possibly be a League One side at the end of the season. And we all love Leicester, of the story of them 5,000 to 1 odds and winning the Prem and all this stuff with their owner and their manager and all this. And we have a soft spot for Leicester because, whatever, yeah? But after what happened yesterday, Leicester, you deserve to be a motherfucking League One side after what happened yesterday. Anyone watched that game in the championship yesterday? Leicester City, Brother, they were up 3-0 inside 30 minutes at King Power Stadium. They're up 3 goals clear, 30 minutes on the clock. End up losing the game 4-3. I'm sorry, I don't care what the context was. I looked, I make sure that no one got sent off. They were playing with 9 men in the second half or some shit. No, they didn't. They had a full 11v11 and fucked off a 3-goal lead inside 30 minutes. The third goal for the equalizer came in the 87th minute, and the winner came in the 90 plus 6 or 7 minute. They lost the game. They deserve to go down after that shit. They deserve to crash out. The Zerbi is a car crash waiting to happen. He's just a hipster with good ideas. Crashes out after the second season because he gets found out. Does play good football, though. He plays attractive, attacking football. And I think that Spurs fans will like that. Let's just say next year when they get all their players back, right? When they get back Madison and Kulusevski and everyone's fit and they have a proper preseason. Their first 10 games, you'll see it. They'll remember the Ange first 10 games. They'll win a bunch, and then the rest of the season, you know how it will go. But we need that. A high-tech robot-powered stadium just to be in the championship. Spurs will go to the championship and raise season ticket prices. That's the type of shit that they will do. You know what I mean? They have multi-billion-dollar owners. Yeah, most of the clubs do, to be fair. AJ says if they go down, they go back to back down because they have every single first team player is gone. Yeah, so they could but that's the thing with Leicester. They still have most of the players that they had in the Premier League. But I can see this happening in the top. I know some of them might have clauses that you go to the damn championship out of there. But it would be nice. It would be lovely. So imagine West Ham, Forest, and Leeds, and whoever else is in that relegation fight decide, we're going to make this season be remembered. Not the year that Arsenal won the league, but the year that Spurs got relegated in the same season. If we got relegated, who would stay and who would leave us, right? Fire sale. Don't know how true it is, but many, many moons ago, I think I read an article or I saw something somewhere that they were talking about when teams get relegated, most of the international players, the players who are internationals for their country, have a clause that they can void their contract or something along those lines. By Bournemouth with their school playground stadium above them. It's mad. 15th, It's mad where they are, man. But I'm loving it. Big up to Wahaha. Hope you're good, my G. If conference is good enough for Chelsea, it's good enough for us. And we can claim we won everything. But you know what? The claim that you won everything is a great shout. But if a club like Liverpool, yesterday we talked about how big Liverpool is, right? We talked about Liverpool being on that list. You will agree that Liverpool is the second biggest club in Europe, monster, yeah? The fact that you are in any other competition other than the Champions League next year would mean abstract failure this year. You know, because Chelsea's squad was worth all the other squads in the conference leagues roster combined. You know what I mean? We need Bournemouth scout who finds all these players. You know, the Bournemouth scouts, the Brighton scouts, they do bits, don't they? You know what I mean? They find the Caicedos before they become Caicedos. You know, they find the Dean Huijsen and they can sell him to Real Madrid before. That's what we need, right? I think that's what the aim is. Why that Arsenal hired that Italian guy, Michele, or whatever his name is. I'm not sure. But yeah, we need to start finding these gems. We can't be every time we have a problem or have a void or a hole to fill, it's 100 million for Declan Rice. You know, we need to find Declan Rice before he turns into Declan Rice. While we have Declan Rice. Tottenham players got sick of Thomas Frank and wanted him to shut up about Arsenal new details in the sacking emerging. They're just throwing him fully under the bus, aren't they? They're holding no punches. They're like, man, this guy, we're not trying to hear anything. Big up to Pro. Big up to Pro, man. Big up to Cooper once again. Love my guy. Look at all this love in the chat. Big up. I did predict that Frank would not last the season. He sure did. I thought he would, though. So this is what I mean, right? When we say that, when you hear clubs come out and talk about he has the full backing, he is the manager, he is gonna fuck all that. Just after the interview, man said he's 100% sure he was gonna be in charge of the Arsenal game. And then he's fired. You know, big up to Pro, man. Big up to Pro man, as well. You did you? 4-3 win, bro. You should have put some money on that. Matter of fact, at 3-0 down, it would have been a great bet that you were gonna come back. They could sell them on Beyonce tickets and go-kart racing at the new Shite Hart Lane, says Doctor. They're gonna have to sell something because it's long, or they'll pay him 15.6 million. Yeah, that's the standard rate for a North London manager, 15.6 million pounds. I would have BBK would have a big barbecue if Spurs get relegated. Matter of fact, us winning the league, Arsenal getting we win the league, or Arteta getting sacked, or Spurs get relegated. Yeah? And I'm doing a 24 hours straight. Non-stop. You know, a little bit of barbecue in there as well. You know, they can be champions in the championship. I don't even put it past them to do that. Big up to Jacques Cousteau. Honors and respect. Rome said he isn't a bad manager. It's just Spurs are rubbish. And the commentary team yesterday pointed this out. They made sure they pointed this out. Now, they did admit and acknowledge that Thomas was performing poorly. But they also pointed out, why is it that all these other managers who win everywhere else, all these other top managers go there and the end result is the same? You know, Conte, Mourinho, they even reference Poch. You know, justice for Ange. Connor made a big mistake joining Spurs. Not that I rate the guy anyway. Yeah, he made a big mistake, Godfrey. And so did Kudus. Madison is like, you know, he showed what he was about when Leicester was in a fight, in a relegation fight, and he quit on the team. And then men went down. And when Leicester went down, James Madison signed for Spurs. Leicester came right back up. So the team was good enough to stay in the Premier League. Madison just wasn't about that. You know what I mean? He was like, I'm jumping off this sinking ship. And he went to Spurs, and the rest is history. The latest playing at 5:45. Big up for that, AJ. Big up for that. Big up to Static. Big you up, my G. Big up to BX Gunner. You're telling me that Ryan is a problem. Is that the Bournemouth guy? Yeah, man. Big up, Static. Big up to Monster. 26 likes already. Bush hitting 26 likes on the 30 minutes is good rate. Massive for us. Small channels over here. And that. Big up to Social again. Says Slot said his job is not on the line if they don't get CL. He said it's not. Well, he can believe that if he wants to. Just like if Thomas Frank actually believed he was 100% chance going to be the Arsenal manager, then going to be the Tottenham manager for the Arsenal game. The fact that it came out of his mouth made me believe that he believes it. So Slot can say what he wants to. That decision is not his. That decision may not even be up to the board. If this Liverpool team does not qualify for the Champions League, you can see man at Anfield running onto the pitch. I could see it. Running onto the pitch, Super Sunday. One source, Thomas Frank was constantly going on about Arsenal, players about Arsenal, and they got quickly sick of it, even before him at the Emirates. Yeah, the guys at the top of the table. Be like the guys at the top of the table. Yeah, we don't want that. Don't go on about the guys at the top of the table. Let's make us more like Wolves at the bottom. Make us more like Burnley. Reference them. Don't reference Arsenal or reference Liverpool. They're the current champs. Anyone but Arsenal. Not getting it's sackable. Yeah, and that's without the money spent. Even if he had to spend the money, I would still be like, brother, you win the Premier League and then fall out of Champions League. Like, who the hell do you think you are, Leicester? He was telling them how good Arsenal were. The feeling among some was very much just shut up about Arsenal. Yeah, shut up about that club, man. You have all your content creators do enough talk about Arsenal anyway. What's Henry Talks Football saying now? Does he still have one of those thumbnails up? And the headline is Arsenal. Your manager got sacked today, and he's going to have something to say about Arsenal. So maybe that's where Thomas Frank is getting that from. He was like, all the heavy hitters, all the fans, all the content creators, all the talk sport people that support Spurs, all they talk about is Arsenal. So maybe I need to talk about Arsenal to relate to these men. Everyone scouts the same players almost. Bournemouth and Brighton take the gamble and get the players cheap. If big clubs show up, these teams seems all these other club scouts no, and the price goes up. I hear it, but they do find them. How did all of them go to South America and Brighton came back with Caicedo and McAllister and Estupinian and everyone we came back with fucking Marquinhos and shit, They're making all the shrewd signings. They find Mitoma, we signed Tomiyasu. It's mad. Someone in Rasta Stocks chat put 150 on Spurs to go down. If that comes to pass, he wins 6.4K. Hey, whoever that is, AJ, we're rooting for him. We're rooting for that, brother. That'd be some good money. Imagine if he's an Arsenal fan. You're an Arsenal fan and you turn 150 into 6.4K and Spurs go down while Arsenal is winning the league. That is a flex. League 2. League 1, League 2, bro. Because the embarrassment of them man trying to fill that stadium in the championship is going to be long. And some of these players, the championship is a hell of a lot more physical than the Premier League. I don't know if a lot of these Spurs players would be built for a 46-game grind in the championship. You know what I mean? Not everybody is cut out for that. Please subscribe to the channel, you nice and decent people. Greatly helps me out, like AJ says. It really does. Yeah. I feel so bad for Wanyeri. Yeah. Imagine they get a new coach who's like, I'm going to a back three and I'm going to play, a 3-5-2. I'm going to have 2 wing backs and I'm going to have 2 8s. I'm only going to use 110 and I'm sorry, Ethan, it's not you. And then, all of a sudden the playing time isn't there. And what do we do? Another reason why I was so against this signing. Not only because we need the player, it's because of shit like this. Now we put his minutes in someone else's hands. Someone who really, because Marseille doesn't have Arsenal's best interest at heart or Ethan's best interest at heart. Marseille has Marseille's best interest at heart. Who should have Ethan's best interest? Us, Arsenal Football Club. So they should be here. You know what I mean? I still think he can help us. Yeah, just attack. Too much sitting back. Like AJ said, attack. Arsenal not that good, but most of the league can't get 6 points from Leeds in it. Now, yes, that's enough about goddamn Tottenham. And this kind of reminds me of what the Big Six is going to be like on Thursday, yeah? And so admin note, there will be no Bruised Banana this Thursday because Arsenal play on Thursday. So Arsenal play at the exact same time we usually do the Bruised Banana over Shanguna. So it will be next week. So no Bruised Banana this week. But the Big Six, and I'm going to watch it, it's going to be another 45 minutes to an hour of Turkish and all these other men on the panel pretending like they give a fuck about Tottenham. That man loved Tobes, That is the real brotherhood, real good fellowship over there. Because them men know no one gives a damn about Spurs. But they love Tobes, so they pretend like they do every week. But speaking of, that's a bad boy segue. Let me pull up my predictions that I had yesterday. Yesterday's game. I actually had Chelsea leading Leeds, I had Chelsea doing them. And it was 2-0. I'm like, oh, shit. Chelsea can run away with this. Cole Palmer with his customary pen. What a nice guy. Customary pen. And then, with the game on the line, with wave after wave after wave, homeboy misses an open goal. Cole Palmer picks up, my G. 2-0 up. You bottle that. The Leeds. Now you're looking further up the table. I think you are. What were you at? Like 8-0? Was it 8-0 on aggregate? We beat Leeds 3-0 and 5-0 over and away. I had Bournemouth drawing with Everton. That didn't go well. Red card in that. I had Newcastle beating Tottenham. I dare I disrespect Newcastle giving Tottenham a goal. But that's what it was. And I had our United mates beating West Ham. But lo and behold, West Ham pissed them man up. Almost. What a finish from Sesko. Bad boy finish, Wahaha. I know you were jumping off the edge of your seat with that finish. Like, Sesko shocked himself. He couldn't believe that went in. Man was like, yo, I didn't expect that to go in. Someone else had to grab the ball and run back to the halfway line because he was still in shock. He had no idea what he just did. You know what I mean? But yeah, predictions were off yesterday. But we'll get into the ones that we're going to talk about today. Now that De Zerbi is gone, can we get Ethan back? Now you can, I'm sure there's always like an emergency recall, but the coach leaving is never a trigger to recall the player. They can, unless there was something in the loan deal that said they couldn't recall him. But I don't know. I just don't like seeing him over there. I think he is better in our team. I predicted a Man U loss. That Sesko dagger stung. Still nice to see your fan base humbled a bit. It was a wicked finish. I'm not gonna lie. Big up to Blacks. Shout out to Thomas and the Choo Choo Train. He was the next thing. The best thing that ever happened to a rival. I hear it. I wanted him to stay, man. Just big up. 32 likes, 42 in the building. Bosh. Big up to man. Love is oozing, man. Appreciate y'all, But the same breath, we have been dog shit this season, but we got 4 points, 2 clean sheets from our games versus Arsenal. So we'll get weird things happen during a season. Yeah, weird things. Like Leeds, Chelsea getting 1 point off Leeds is mad. Yeah, They're the world champions and shit. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You know, it's what was the result at the Stadium of Light? No. Liverpool are going to the Stadium of Light because you drew at Anfield with Sunderland, didn't you? So you could possibly get 1 point from them, man, if they beat you. Brother, it could be long. Ice Cold Palmer missing a sitter that brother Godfrey. It was harder to miss. If he tried to miss that, he scores. He's trying to score it and he misses. Big up to Tony. Love Tony. I was so gutted for you yesterday, Tony. I needed you to get those 3 points, man. Stings. 29 points on the board was just looking it looked better. 27 points. No, 26. You had 26 points. You know, you would have been on par with Forest. It looked way better than the 24. But with the form that United are in, no one expected you to even be in that position anyway. So there's some consolation there. But yeah, Godfrey, that it was unbelievable. Men stood in the net with mouth open, like, yeah, you're about to get some criticism. Oh, it was 9. Oh, okay. For some reason, I had 3-0 in my head. Yeah, 9-0. Eat that, Chelsea. Lucky guess. Awful game, but I knew you can't escape them. But now I think it was a good. Now I was flipping back and forth between the games, obviously. But I don't think it was an awful game. I think they went up on you and they was gonna defend for their lives. That they were going to do that. You know what I mean? If Casemiro curves his run for that Mainu pass, that is 1-1, and I think United would have go on to win it if they had scored earlier in the 70th or the 80th minute. I think they would have went on to get it. Back to reality. Who does United have next? United have Everton, yeah? Everton away. I don't even know what to make of that. Here's a good question. Who actually is a better penalty taker? Cole Palmer or Ivan Toney? I think Ivan Toney went through an entire calendar year or didn't miss one or whatever the stat is. I think for Brentford, he's never missed a pen or something like that. Doesn't run up, just stands over the ball and slots it home. Does it so well that it gets him an England call-up. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to Toney. And that's typically you want your strikers taking your pens anyway. That was an open goal. Only Darwin Núñez could. He was, I swear to God, I believe if he swings his foot trying to miss that goal, it goes in. I was like, if the ball was heading anywhere towards the goal, I would have called that a save. But because it's a cross, I'm saying it's not like he saved it. But better, how did any kind of contact other than the one he made, it goes in. What's this about Sesko? He scored a banger from long range. Nah, he just it was a quick reaction, poacher's goal. Caressed it. Wasn't any power. It was a calm, cool finish in a pressure moment in the game. It was a good finish. I was told this the shin kicker was world class, but he's giving pens away. Now, I think he was a good finish. I'm not gonna lie. I was even in the moment when I'm pissed off because I'm angry that he scored because I'm watching Tony. I'm watching Hammers Football TV, and I'm like, okay, Tony, this is, and then I'm like, but I couldn't take anything away from the finish at all. Guna SC, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 1, City 3, Fulham 0. All right, cool, man. That segue, I'll pull up mine and see what I'm saying. For today's games, yeah. Let me just see what for the Brighton and the Villa game. I think that's a draw, and this might be the one that I watch. Might go to the pub and watch these. I don't like go to the pub when my team isn't playing, but shit, man. Having 5 or 6 TVs to look at, I can watch this Villa one and peek at the City game while I'm doing it. Yeah, watch them concurrently. Going 2-2. Villa Brighton. I'm saying 2-2. Yeah, Morgan Rogers' customary goal, but Brighton they just never go away, do they? And they never stop attacking. I think they get 2 goals. Palace and Burnley. I think Palace edged them 1-0. Mateta is not having surgery. Between Sar, Strand Larson, and Yermi Pino, I think they have enough to get by Palace, to get by Burnley. Now, City and Fulham, I do agree with you. I do think City packed Fulham in 3-0. And I do believe that Sunderland will win as well. I mean, Liverpool will beat Sunderland. Now, there is something to be said about Sunderland, yeah? I'm not going to lie. There is something to be said about Sunderland, who the only team that's undefeated at home in the Premier League, and they have played 13 home games, right? Match week 26. It's a pretty big sample size. They only have 5 more. That are no team in the Premier League is none of the big ones. I'm not sure all across Europe how many teams that are undefeated at home to include the big ones. Yeah. However, that is something for them to hold on to. I think they know that, and I do believe they want to go undefeated at home so they can have that as something that they accomplished this season. And I think they will give Liverpool a hell of a game. But in the end, I just think Liverpool have a little more quality. Can't recall a player outside of a transfer window unless it's stipulated in the deal between the clubs. Yeah. And I'm saying that Bertha is an experienced sporting director. Surely he knows this and would have put that in there. You know, Ethan got to grow up and just work your ass off in an unknown environment. Ethan, man, I need him, man. I just think his talent is way too good to go to waste. But you can also argue while he's here on our bench, his talent is going to waste. And I hear that. I do hear that. Big up to the broski. That is Suj. Say big up Taryn in the chat. Hit the likes and subscribe. Big up to Suj. Hope you are good, man. You got to be back home now, surely. But I hope you are good, my G. And if money was exchanged to make the loan happen, the loan fee, then there is no recall option. I hear it. Okay. Ethan, do what the hell Jones just said. Just put your head down and just do the bits, my guy, because we know you have the quality. Stay fit, keep on improving. With this regard, surely that should get Ethan. I don't think that can trigger it. Because the deal is between the clubs, isn't it? It's not, hey, we're going to loan you this player. And if this manager leaves, we get to call him back. Between the clubs. In fairness, Ethan being in a war zone will build character. LOL, family environment have made him soft, you know. That's a point, you know. I don't know the details about Waneri's loan. Yeah, man. Big up to Tony. Hope you are good, man. I just got to it. Is it just me or the Olympics have fallen off? Is the skeleton over? The skeleton event's over, man. We talked about this, Ryan, yesterday. So the skeleton events is apparently the best one to watch. So let us know how that's going. Yeah, I led yesterday's streams asking if anyone watches the Winter Olympics because you know ESPN and Fox are all over here pretending like they give a damn. Most people didn't even know this shit was on. You know. Black said, I grew up in a war zone environment. I turned out good, traumatized but good. Hey, I know a thing or two about the war zones, you know. Delivered a baby in a war zone once. That's a story for you. Leave that for one of the members only stream. They canceled the barbershop. Yeah, Fabrizio with his AI is getting out of control, you know. But man, canceled the barbershop, man. Dude was what? 1 game away, you know, and he has to start out now. It's going into next year. It is going into next year. United are not winning 5 games in a row this year. They're not. So I'm sorry. What's his name? Strand? United Strand? I'm sorry, bruv. You know, it's a noble cause what you're doing to raise money for, you know, kids with cancer and all that shit. But I'm sorry, bruv. You know, you should have said 3 games. 5 games is a tall order for any club, let alone Emirates, Man United. It's mad. So the earliest he can cut his hair now is 537 days from right. Looking at their schedule. Everton, Palace, Newcastle, Villa, Bournemouth, their next 5. Do they win all of those? They can, but highly unlikely. And Wanyeri should be good enough to force his way into any team, any Marseille team. Give it time. Yeah, I mean, he started the very first game. He started and he went straight in. So we know that. We know that Ethan has enough quality to force himself into this Arsenal team. So that Marseille team, it's a given. Yeah, essentially, yeah, good enough to play for Arsenal. Yeah, but at least they recognized and came to a resolution. Now, I don't like the resolution, but if Ethan benefits from it, I can hear it. Just need him to come back to us a better player than he left. Imagine that, because he's already good enough. Yeah, it would have been great if we got those 3 points. Looking forward to Wolves to do a number on Forest. And then this is the part of the season where, you know, everyone becomes friends and alliances change from week to week. Yeah, because last week it's, hey, Liverpool, do me a solid. Now we're like, Sunderland, pack Liverpool in. Pack them in. Make them miserable. Big up to James Bond. Manners and respect, my G. Wow, good enough. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, big up to Tony. Hope you are good. 300K for a dead winger is mad. He's been shit and selfish all season. Yeah, well, Nani has been given a run of games and he hasn't really grabbed it. So as soon as Bukayo shakes off whatever bug that is, right back in the team. As an England fan, I want Ivan Toney definitely on the plane for his penalties alone. Yeah, and I think Southgate made that clear. Especially after what Harry Kane did in the last World Cup, that fucking pen. But I don't think he goes. Is he taking 3 strikers? If he takes 3 strikers, he's going, right? He'll go with Kane and Ollie Watkins is a toss-up right now. And then, man, maybe, Tony could be the 3rd striker. We haven't earned anything from Auba. About who? About what? About Plat Yang. Jacques Cousteau say Gunners worldwide praying for Fulham to show up. They will do nothing. City will slap them. So I predicted 3-0, Jacques. I got comfortable 3-0 I got. You know what I mean? Man City are going to remember the 5-4 game. Like, yeah, we can. They can score, so let's not fuck about today. Let's play Man City style football, professional performance from minute 1 to minute 90. Let's see how our boys deal with pressure tomorrow. They want to be top dog, right? Time to show it. Top dog. Because, after today, we look at the Premier League table. What should have been 9 points turned to 6, turned to 3. Squeaky bum time. 2-1 Brighton. Villa Brighton says Guna SC. Think they draw it, but that wouldn't surprise anyone. I can't lie. Sesko Valley was sick. The kid went straight to the center circle as well. I respect the mentality. It was a good finish. I'm not going to lie, man. I was like, damn. There's West Ham were seconds away. Smash the likes, everyone, says H-Town Rocket. Big up the Stooge. Godfrey got 2-1 as well. Jacques got 2-1 Brighton. Yeah, I'm going for it. And that's the thing. Is the fact that this can swing either way and no one will be surprised is why I think it would be a 2-2 draw. And it could be Brighton are comfortably up 2-0 and are going for the 3rd and the 4th goal and concede 2. Or you could see Villa up 2-0 trying to see out the game, and Brighton, they never stop. They keep going, and they score. Welbeck, banger. Or it's 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2 in any order. Sunderland 1, Liverpool 0, says Jacques Cousteau. Man, like Godfrey says, a draw. I'm here for that. Imagine, hey, Liverpool loses, that would be what? A Liverpool loss would be 9 losses, That is mad, bro. Liverpool have lost more games than Bournemouth and Sunderland. That is crazy. Slot, hot seat. Seat is heating up, my guy. Man, big up to Suge. Sunderland win. Aston Villa and City draw their game, says Jack Line. Okay. Oh, shit. Fulham. Come on, baby, Arsenal. Come on, Smith Rowe. Iwobi. Burnt Leno. I don't trust Leno, man. Leno's been having some keeper nightmares for Fulham. Yeah? Didn't he punch the ball in the damn net versus Everton the other day? Yeah, he looks so damn awkward. Big up to Suge, man. I know. I tell you what. I know Suge is watching that damn Winter Olympics for the women's skeleton. Oh, it's over. I don't know if it is. I haven't watched. They could run those slow-mos 24/7 and the viewing numbers would be top at all sports. It's turned it into OnlyFans, didn't it? You know, right? You can imagine some of these the skeleton competitors after they leave this be like, we didn't make any money from this Winter Olympic shit, even the gold medalists. But I guarantee you, they're gonna start OnlyFans and do the same shit that they were doing in the Olympics. They'll be millionaires by the weekend. Yeah, Colorado, people in Alaska, a lot of snow there. In northern New York, like in the Watertown area, you know, the Appalachians get plenty of snow as well. Yeah, man. Big up to Blacksman. Say, hey, BBK, as always, thank you for your service, man. Hopefully 27 is more peaceful. Yeah, you know, man, that is, you know, we pray for the peace. You know, as soldiers, we pray for the peace. It's the soldier that bleeds in wartime to protect the peace. So even though we solve problems with violence, we're always playing for peace, because we do pay a heavy price when it goes the other way. But big you up for that, Blacks. Sude says the Olympics 2032 will be in my city. Oh, you're going to Brisbane. House prices and cost of living already started to get out of control. But luckily, you already got yours locked in, so you're going to benefit from this, yeah? Yeah, Sude, stay up tomorrow and watch Arsenal go back to 6 points clear. Because most of us are, I'm expecting the City to win comfortable. And I hope the energy that I'm putting in over City to comfortably dispatch of Fulham completely backfires. And Fulham go down there and shock the world. Yeah? I'm still laughing because I just remembered when Canadian Michael Jackson blocked me because I said he had no football knowledge, and he said it was because he wasn't British. And the thing is, right, I do a hip-hop podcast with a bunch of British guys, you know? And if it ever comes across that someone tells me, hey, you're not British, so you can't speak about football, and I tell everyone in the UK, you can't speak about reggae music, dancehall, rap, NBA basketball. I better not hear you, man, ever utter LeBron James' name out your mouth. Anything that has to do with Jamaica, the music, the USA, sports, and all this stuff. Rap music started here. You can't speak about it because you're an international fan. You know what I mean? Now, the Canadian Michael Jackson, he just doesn't know football. Ain't got shit to do with you being Canadian, man. You just make shit takes. If we're able to swap Jesus for David, which one is that? That's the guy that's at Juventus. Was it Jonathan David? I was on a free. We could have made more creative when the Osimhen was high on my list as well. He would pair well with Lookman. Lookman, you know. Said what I had to say about Lookman. I think he suits that Italian league well. Where's he at now? I went to Atleti or something. I like Osimhen, but I resigned myself to the fact that the club wouldn't sign him. You could put Osimhen on a big contract. I definitely believe he would come to Arsenal, if I'm being honest. I'll be real. I was expecting an invincible season after the window we had. They sold us a dream. Shit. It's mad how the season is unfolding, you know. As for Saka, how long have we been saying I think Saka hears the noise, I think he hears the noise about his GA, about his play, and you see it manifest itself in his selfish cutbacks and not passing the ball early. Even the Martinelli goal, not the Martinelli assist for Gyökeres's goal versus Leeds. But he sees the striker in the box. Remember, I'm a winger. I'm supposed to create chances for him. Cut the ball onto my least favorite foot, on my left foot, and I give you a chance. And Gyökeres literally had Jaden Bogle inside his damn jersey and still was able to make contact. Any contact from there, the ball is going in the net, except if you're Cole Palmer. Except if you're Cole Palmer against Leeds. Saying Leeds. Gabriel ain't leaving Arsenal. He bet not. He bet not. Speaking of Sesko has been taken way too far by Gooners, who were afraid they were getting Gyökeres. I think you mean top Gooners. Top Gooners. I don't even know why that's a thing. Gyökeres versus Sesko. It's kind of, it feels like it's forced. You know what I mean? It's they're being linked and compared for all the wrong reasons. Gabriel is better than Bastoni for me as a left back. I would rather Davies. I take Barella in a heartbeat. Yeah, that Barella is something serious, I guess. Yeah, Utah. Yeah, Utah's there. I think they hosted it one year in Salt Lake City. Could be. Forget Invincible. That thing is loading. Tick, 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 tick. Hey, boy, 10 is not. We will not relent. He will not. He cannot. The quad. It's just, that word is just. Imagine. We will never have captains like Roy Keane and Tony ever again. Never, ever. Right. There's a huge generational gap, right? And if we were to try to have a captain like this, he'd be quickly canceled. Be toxic. Some young kid would make a TikTok about how he's being treated, and then the club would have to deal with it. PR nightmare and shit. Yeah. Generational gap. We'll never. I really wanted to go Invincible this season, but I'm also glad it was put off the table early with the Liverpool loss. Thought that would help. Like, the fact that we got a wake-up call that early, match week 3, you thought the boys would have, let's lock in and let's not drop points away to what's his name? Sunderland and away at Villa and shit. Going Invincible would have been way too much pressure. One loss could crumble our season in that scenario. Yeah, let's just drag this one over the line somehow. Next year, let's try to win in style, right? Play pretty football and all this other shit. And then the next one, do that Invincible. Yeah, we just have to get this one over the line right now. To avoid embarrassment of the fan base. So how many of us are saying quad and treble? Have to get over the line. Ahmad for Bayern Munich, Davies would cost 85 million. Damn, they want 85 million for fucking Alphonso Davies. God damn. Big up to Brian. Say big up Tyrant in the chat. Hit the like and subscribe. How do you not score from 1 yard out in an open net? Brian, I was talking on this earlier, bro, and I'm saying if he tried to miss that, he scores. I don't know how. If he was trying to miss that, what the hell? As police say, they want Saka plus 70 million pounds. Let's do a straight up swap. And we'll go use the 70 million to buy someone else. I don't want to get used to saying it, boy 10. I swear. The pressure that comes with that word. I've seen the Liverpool faithful say it. And that's after they won too, by the way. They had picked up this one and that one. I'm like, whew. After March 22nd, when I see Declan Rice pick up the trophy and do this, then I will say, yeah, we won something. Maybe I'll get with it. Yeah, Salt Lake had the Olympics in 2002. Okay, back then. Gotcha, my G. I actually spat out my drink, I want to refrain from saying it. I really do. But out of respect for the chat, I'll say I can only skip it so many times before I have to say what you actually wrote. So the Q word. Big up to Suj again. Said, Darren, pick your ultimate starting 5 from the NBA. Ooh, it's Suj. My ultimate starting 5. All right. My ultimate starting 5. It's not a part. So I did this. I did who I'd pay money to see with Gianni. With just footballers. Yeah. And this is not who's better than who. This is just who I would like to see play. And Higuita was my goalkeeper, right? So he wasn't the best goalkeeper in the world. I just thought he was crazy enough that I would pay money to see that. For my NBA starting 5 ultimate, I would actually go with Jesus, the point guard spot is so I have John Stockton, I got Allen Iverson, Magic Johnson, and Steph. Any one of those 4, and I struggle to pick one. Honestly do, because fucking John Stockton was the best pure point guard pass first I've ever seen. But then you Steph Curry, who can do all the passing, who can handle the ball. So I'll go Steph, and I go Michael at the 2. At the 3, I will go Larry Bird at the 3. At the 4, I would go Tim Duncan, and at the 5, I would go Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah, all-time 5 there. Big up to Suze, man. Ryan, the most hamstring. I said hamstring sucker, 60, 70 max. We can try to do the invincible thing when Odegaard is out the club. Then we can talk about some serious things. Now we can try to do it. We can talk about the Invincibles next year. Now, if we win the Premier League title, we're going into the season next year with different chests. There are certain things that I will say next year that I'm not going to say this year because I just don't think I'm allowed to say it because we aren't Premier League champions. But kickoff, regardless of what the transfer window says in the summer, if Arsenal Football Club wins the Premier League this year, going into the next year, I'm speaking differently. We're Premier League champions. So then we can talk about the Invincibles. Then we can talk about the blistering football and the this and the that and the minimums. We win it. Chess is going to be different. We win it. I'm no longer streaming in my hoodies. I got the kids out. The chest. I'm ready for it. But until then, pause. Saka needs to go left wing or left back. And then we leave Nani up there. Big up to the assembled. Hope you're good, my G. Like this. Wait a minute. Tomorrow, by the way, is the 1-year anniversary of when we all went crazy and celebrated the Everton equalizer against Liverpool. Yeah, and then didn't we go drop points right after? I think we dropped points shortly thereafter, didn't we? Suge, for me, this is I said Stephanie. Steph Curry, Mike, LeBron, Tim, and Shaq. Okay. Guna Rican says Shaq, MJ, Larry. There go Larry getting some love. AI. So yeah, AI and Duncan. Yeah, Duncan has. So I got Duncan. I got Larry. I got Michael. But I got Kareem over Shaq because the hook shot, the unstoppable hook shot from Lou Alcindor, aka Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We went from celebrating being 7 points behind Liverpool to mourning only 6 being ahead of City. I can't respect because he has the pass to, but that's not him. He has nothing to do with that. It was a pure point guard. Pure. He was made for an assist. You know what I mean? Malone's Malone's wingman sounds all kind of mad. Wow, you're nasty for that, man. Nasty, nasty one. That's a good one, though. We made it to 40 likes. Are we mad? Are we mad, community? Big up, man. I think Stockton was all kinds of dumb as well, man. He was an assist machine, man. Assist machine. Kareem, he was about 7 feet tall, man. He was the leading scorer in the NBA for decades and decades and decades, and only attempted 1 3-point shot. You know, that's how unstoppable the hook shot was. Let's have these conversations. We have the heritage to go invincible again. I think next year is about if we get a top manager and then sell to buy. Yeah. Going into the NBA season as an NBA champion, you move differently. You can say certain things and won't be called or looked at as crazy because you're speaking like a champion. You know what I mean? It's different. The energy around the football club will be different. You know what I mean? Sue said, I see it. I'd go Magic, MJ, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Shaq. So if you're doing this is like a modern day top 5 because then you're going positionless basketball. Because you got Magic as the point, but then you got Kobe and Mike who play the same spot. So you have 2 shooting guards, and then you have no small forward. You have a Tim Duncan who's a 4/power forward, and Shaq. Or you can argue Tim Duncan was a damn center. So in the traditional, because I'm an older guy and how they used to pick it, where position for position 1 through 5, that's why I picked it. Point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward, power forward, and a center. What about the NBA player who deliberately missed free throws so the fans? Yeah, so a lot of the arenas do that. They have like partnerships with like Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and shit, and based on free throws or the amount of points scored for that night, you get a coupon and you get to go to these places and get free chicken. The whole NBA knew. Listen, Karl Malone's fuckery. I don't put that down. I can't put anything or take anything away from John Stockton's play because of what Karl Malone was doing. And this was the NBA's responsibility, and I think David Stern knew. Magic, Bird, MJ, Bird, Bill Russell, Shaq. Your team ain't beating mine. That's a lot of size you got there, Boy 10. But I got MJ, and I have Bird, so we're equal there. I got Kareem and I got Tim Duncan. I think Kareem and Tim Duncan can measure up very well with Bill Russell. And Magic is Magic, but he's not guarding Tim Duncan, Steph Curry down in the post. He has to pick him up full court. Okay. All right. Jacques Cousteau, are you watching on a phone or a laptop? Whatever you're watching on. If you're watching on a laptop, lean in for a little bit, yeah? And if you're watching on your phone, put your phone by your ear for a second. I'm slap the shit out of you before I read this comment because I don't know what you're on. Let's say give me Wemby at the 1. Wemby, who's played 2 NBA games, who is 7 feet 12 inches tall at the 1. You mad, bruv? The disrespect for the point guard, the legendary point guards who play the 1. KD at the 2. He can play the 2, but KD is best in your front court. Jokic, Duncan, and Shaq at the 5. This is a big team. I got a team of 7-footers, Oh my God. I feel like Thomas Frank wants to be an Arsenal manager. He wants to be an Arsenal something, that bubblegum chewing merchant. Man is trying to out-chew Carlo Ancelotti on the sideline. He just looked like he was out of his depth. Now, Arsenal hit University. If he is out of his depth at Tottenham, it better not cross his mind to come to Arsenal. You know what I mean? Brother, we ain't having that. That team has 0 shooting. That would kill you. Yes, man. Yeah, you need shooting, man. If Steph is in my team, you have no shooters in yours. It's gonna be long. Shaq and Bill. Oh man, that's the thing. Steph don't need to shoot around them. Steph can pull up from 30 yards. I mean 30 feet. Yeah. I want to see Steph shoot over prime Shaq. I want brother. He come on. Steph shoot over prime anybody. Like, man, if Steph didn't have handles and he had to catch and shoot, I could hear it. But Steph can create space versus anybody. And I mean anybody. Shaq, Air, KD, Barkley. Barkley, you know. Barkley is a shout. You see what you did, Sluge? Sluge did hijack the chat. The super chat, you know. Kobe and MJ on the same team would be crazy. ISO ball, bro. ISO ball. And that's why I need Steph. Because Steph, as much as Steph scores and can score whenever he wants to, he's not selfish at all. He has no problem dishing out the rock. Matter of fact, if you don't have the bigs to stop Shaq, that's 50 points for Shaq already. I have Kareem and I have Tim Duncan. You know what I mean? Like Tim Duncan beat prime Shaq. Shaq was in his prime in 2005. Shaq was in his prime in 2007. You know who won the NBA title in 05 and in 07? Tim Duncan. So he was winning championships while Shaq was in the league in his prime. And Kareem, you're talking about who's stopping, bro. The Kareem hook shot was literally unstoppable. It's the most unstoppable shot in basketball. He never made a three. And LeBron had to play 20 goddamn years in a three-point era to pass him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, NBA leading scorer, missed a hook shot. One move. They couldn't stop it. Could not, bro. You know what I mean? Now, it's the amount of free throws or point total. You know what it is before you even walk into the arena. Yeah. But yeah, you get a lean in, brother. You have to you have to get a slap there. Can I please say if we had Luis Enrique, we'd be saying domestic trouble, like however, because I think if we had Luis Enrique, bro, you know, we would have had this league wrapped up by now. I went Remley, but he nowhere near the level. Man has played 2 basketball games, you know. Yeah. And he's handling the ball, but he can't handle a full court press. Can't. It's important. But last time I checked, Tim Duncan and Kareem are pretty big motherfuckers. Like, they're big. Yeah, man is going for the timber squad. Timber trees. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Shaq do like that, and Remby is. Yeah, are we playing 90s, 2000 rules? Or are we playing the soft era rules? You know? Yeah. Shaq, he got footwork, but Tim Duncan's footwork is better. That's why they call Tim Duncan the big fundamental. That's why he has 5 championships. He has more than Shaq. Took 2 from Shaq. You know what I mean? He does this thing. Tim Duncan gets busy. Ski jumping and downhill are the best. Skeleton. See that? The skeleton. The women's skeleton. Yeah. Market opportunities. It's a shame the way Frank improved Spurs. That was unfair dismissals on the grounds. They are useless anyway. Yeah, they finished 17th last year, right? They finished 17th last year. They're 16th right now. It's an improvement. And they're on track to win the Champions League because they're in it, right? They're in the top half of the Champions League. So he's doing well. This ain't Europa with Bodo Glimt, like Tony Claude calls him, Bodo Glimt in the semifinal. Big boy. I mean, Shock won in 06. Go Heat. He did. Who was the MVP of that series? Don't answer. I know the answer. Just let you know that that Shaq, when he was in his 3-peat at the Lakers, won all the MVPs because he was that motherfucker. But Shaq became Batman in Miami to D-Wade. AI, MJ, Kobe, Duncan, Hakeem, what that man saying? I don't like Kobe and Michael in the same team. You see, now you got 3 backcourt players. But this is a bad boy team. Now, if I take out Kobe and I put in Larry or even LeBron or KD, right, in the 3, then you're cooking. How many quadruple doubles did Tim get in his career? Very complete player. Not sure, but I just know big fundamental, man. His footwork, he can shoot. Tim Duncan was that guy. That's why he was Tim Duncan was what they call him? Other than the big fundamental, he was able to play in the league so long because he never depended on athleticism like Blake Griffin. You notice that as soon as Blake Griffin's athleticism left, he was done. He was out the league. Dwight Howard, all these players, as soon as their athleticism left and they couldn't jump over people, they were done. I know he got 5 NBA titles while Shaq was in the league. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to give Tim the respect. That big team can't run up and down the court. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like Steph can't pick out a pass. Question for all: you agree that Kobe's saying if Shaq had work rate, he would be the GOAT? Yeah, I do. Matter of fact, it's not. Shaq has said it. All the journalists have said it, and that's the thing. He didn't need to. He just know he was bigger than stronger than everyone else. You know what I mean? Yeah. And by work rate, Kobe wasn't just talking about getting up and down the court. Work rate to improve your free throws, right? Because I think he barely shot 60%, if that. Tim Duncan made his free throws. You know what I'm saying? You mentioned it, man. You listen, brother. You can't introduce me to some shit and then blame me for liking it. It's eye candy. It's Echo Charlie, EC. BBK is becoming a fan of women's skeleton. No, wait until they get a black girl into that sport. Hey. Or they can get one of them curvy Ricans in there, one of them curvy Boricos in there. Yeah, he was the Batman and Shaq was the Robin at that point. Not yet. Yeah. First ballot Hall of Famer though, but there is a reason. And the thing is that the guys that I've picked when Tim Duncan was playing and Michael was playing, these men, the top players would guard the best player on the other team. Jokic don't guard nobody. If the Bucks and the Nuggets are in a series, someone else is picking up Giannis. It's not Jokic. They're switching everything. He was a beast, man. He was like I don't want to say he was the heartbeat or the pulse of it, but the dirty work, the cleanup man was all him. He affected the game without scoring. Not that they needed him to score because they had that guy. Yeah. Joker is that guy. First ballot Hall of Famer, of course, but not yet, Jacques. Has there been any successful British NBA players ever? OG Anunoby, my New York Knicks, yeah? OG, my guy. He represents the UK. Nigerian descent, but OG, my guy. I think he is the best UK player. Of skill set alone, Jokic is up there. Okay. Jacques just started watching basketball, man. Yeah. It's like when I meet someone my age and they're repping Man City, I'll be like, motherfucker, when did you start watching football? You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about an all-time team and the first center that comes to your mind is Jokic, it's recency bias. Yeah, the recency bias. Because when it's all said and done, Jokic won't be the all-time NBA leading scorer. The guy that I'm putting in my team was a center, played that same position, and was the all-time NBA scorer without shooting threes. So if you're going to look at centers over the years or all time, we've gone back and forth with this for 20 minutes, and we haven't even mentioned Will Chamberlain. So the centers that should come to your mind is Wilt, Bill, Shaq. Jokic will get there, but he's not better than any of those guys that we just named, because the game was harder back then. The game now is you are on a fast break and you see three men. Instead of running to the rim, that man run to the 3-point line. Man ain't going for the layup. Man is going for a three. Shaq was a problem. People had the extra bigs just to back up Shaq. Yeah, he was a problem. Yeah. But let me sell you on a prime Kareem. Someone will watch. People who watch Kareem and watch Shaq will tell you there's a problem. Yeah, he had 11 of them. Russell, I'm not talking rings. Those are my all-time 11. Picking an all-time 11 with no disrespect to Jokic, but he gets nowhere near an all-time 11. You know, the greatest offensive player of all time. Might be the greatest offensive big man. I don't know about player. If Shaq had Kobe's work ethic, bro, it's gonna be over for the NBA. Fair point. Boricua's for the win. Yeah, man. Get a heated ice ring. Imagine that. It's too cold for the Boricuas. But yeah, I'd love to see it. Oh, yeah. Nor does Steph guard anyone. What do you mean? He does. What do you mean? It was Steph. If you go look, the 2016 NBA title, when Kyrie made that shot, go look back at the tape. Who was guarding him? You know, it was Steph guarding Russell Westbrook in the Thunder Golden State series when they came back 3-1. Take full responsibility for changing the chat. Let's go fuck around and turn into a 2-hour stream. I was trying to get off of here before 2 hours still because Broski, Shane, and Views have Northside giving them free promo. Make sure you tell them I'm giving them free promo at 7 or 5, 1700. You see, God kept it fair by making Shaq all kinds of lazy. If he was in the gym practicing shot, comparing the spare moment like Kobe, he would have been the GOAT. I hear it. But we also hear people talk about Ronaldinho's work ethic. So God kept it fair by making Ronaldinho lazy. Because you imagine Ronaldinho with Christie's work rate. Yeah? If you have Ronaldinho's work rate, if you have Ronaldinho's skill, CR7's work rate, essentially what you have is R9 without the injuries. Pat Bev, Jimmy Fredette, World Peace, Anthony Bennett, and Jaleel Okafor. Who stops that team? Bosh. This is my team right here. Yeah, the hell with my team. Yeah, Pat Bev. Come on. Pat Bev and Jimmer from downtown, from way down there. World piece of shit. You know, Anthony Bennett, the failed Canadian. This is mad, you know. Oh, goddamn. After Suge just ruined the chat, he decides he's going to ruin it some more. So now, the most underrated 5 from the NBA. All time, yeah? Shit, Suge. Most underrated. Let me put that back on the screen. Underrated. Excuse me. I'll go Charles Barkley. I think he is underrated because he's undersized. He was like 6'4", and he never won a ring. I'll go Charles Barkley. I'll go Chris Paul. Well, let me start from the 1. I'll go Chris Paul at the 1 because he never won a ring. And a lot of these guys are gonna name won't have rings next to him, right? I go Chris Paul at the 1. At the 2, underrated 2 guard. Shit. Oh, God damn, this is a tough one, Suge. I'll go Dwayne Wade. At the 3, Underrated 3. Scottie Pippen. Underrated 4. Not gonna say Karl Malone for obvious reasons. I go with Barkley. Yeah, I said Barkley. And underrated center, Patrick Ewing. Yeah, so Chris Paul, Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Luol Deng, you know. He was essential. All the dirty work, man. All the dirty work. You know, someone had to guard the mailman. Yeah, man. I won't do you like that, Gusto. That's your team just has too many modern players. You know what I mean? When you lead with Wemby at the one with all the great point guards available to us, you're like, yeah, you taking a mick. Jordan knew important who Jordan was, 100%. That's why he told Phil that he would make sure Rodman turned up for games. Don't worry about what he's going on the nightclub. And that in itself put more pressure on Michael. Because if you were the leader of the team as Michael, and then you go tell the coach, hey, coach, you let this player go rogue, I can handle it. Then you have to go handle your business. Right? Because you're putting more pressure on yourself, Mike. It was a bit of a freak. He could cut how many rotations each player's. Yep. Which direction? Yeah, he studied rebounding. He studied the shot where it would bounce. Because he wasn't the tallest, so his positioning was very important. I want a 5 that can shoot, says Jacques. Play under the rim, defend all positions, my ideal word. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going with the modern basketball. You know, when I hear all time, my brain automatically goes back to the 90s, 2000s, some of the 80s, for Larry and them. Because when you say I want a 5 that can shoot, that screams, that reeks of modern day basketball, which everyone hates because it's all it is. Everyone runs to the 3-point line. No shit. Watch any NBA game, bro. And there's a break. There's a 3-on-1 break. There's one defender and there's 3 offensive players. One man should go to the rim and one run out. Both them motherfuckers run to the 3-point line and leave the person with the ball 1-on-1 with the basket. So he's forced to pass it out there for a 3-on-2 or 2-on-1 was always a layup. So yeah, you are fully moderned out. Prime Kareem is nice. The NBA had some unreal centers over the years. Unstoppable hook shot. You know what I mean? Big up Dal. So City will be 3 points behind us. As long as they're still behind. There's no talk of sacking as long as City are still behind. He didn't show up in your stream today. Who's that? Who are you talking about? Didn't show up. Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about. The tone guy. Not the tone guy. The Ty. Suit for the most underrated. Darren Williams at point guard. AJ, that is a shout. That is a shout. Darren Williams. Yep. D Wade, because people really disrespect him, like at the 3. Andrei Kirilenko. Rah. AK-47. This is a dope conversation, y'all. Y'all really tested my NBA knowledge today, but I'm holding my own, yeah? Andrei Kirilenko, AK-47, Utah Jazz. And the 4, I would go Shawn Kemp. Oh, Shawn Kemp has the keys to the city in Seattle here, you know? And speaking of Seattle, today's the parade, y'all. Should I go? I'm going to flip a coin. The parade is downtown today. And Chris Bosh. Okay. Bad boy list, AJ. Bad boy. Not going to lie. That's the world peace. Yeah, brother. Meta world peace, bro. And don't forget the Jimmer Fredette, you know. Bad boy. We are on 48. Can we get the 50 likes? Nice and decent, people. Maybe on the watch back. Rip Hamilton, underrated. That's a shout. Listen, Gunnar Wicked, UD don't believe, he don't even understand how he stayed in the league that long. You know what I say? He's not overrated now. I think AI gets his respect. AI crossed up Mike and all that. He gets his respect. That's why I don't put him on any overrated list. It's play on the court, cultural phenomenon, is cultural impact. Going up against Shaq with Dikembe Mutombo and a bunch of role players, winning in LA, stepping over Ty Lue and that. I think he gets his respect. I like that. Yeah, that was a bad boy list from AJ. Susie, I got Tony Parker. Ooh, D Wade, Manu, all these goddamn Spurs players, dude. The fuck? Robinson. And that's the Admiral, right? I know this is David Robinson you're talking about. So you're underrated. You're gonna put 3 goddamn Spurs players in there. The Tony Parker is a shout. I like the Tony Parker shout. One of the most underrated point guard to ever play. No doubt about it. Manu, I think Manu was because he come on as a 6-man a lot, even though he was good enough to start for most teams. I think he's the only 6-man that should be a short shot Hall of Famer. But yeah, Ginobili was the guy. And yeah, this is the bad boy list, but a lot of Spurs players on there, Suj. Joan says T-Mac under. Yep, I hear it. Drazen Petrovic. The kids don't know you now. Pedro Stojakovic, Hedo Turkoglu. That was the first wave. We could even throw Dirk in there. Dirk Nowitzki. I'm saying, goddamn, I should go up here and change the damn logo. It's Wednesday, ain't it? It's Wednesday. Or we can go around the league. Around the leagues. Oh, my days. I can't even find where it was. We'll just keep that one for now. Same. Used to go back to the 90s, but I've been brainwashed by the modern era. I can't, man. When I see them just running to the 3-point line, bro, it's 22 seconds on the shot clock. Man is just going down there and just hoisted it up. Now, how about this for a shot for point guards underrated, Suj? How about Steve Nash? I think Steve Nash is on MVP in Phoenix, twice MVP. Rodman knew all Madonna's and the Carmen Electras won't fuck themselves. Yeah, he was. So Dennis Rodman was the original freak off. He was the original Diddy. Boogie Cousins could have been 5 of nah, not Boogie Cousins. Good player, could be on the underrated list, but the centers that Boogie Cousins don't sit at the table with Kareem and them, man. Toronto. What's Quest? Oh, Chris Bosh. The Toronto Chris Bosh. Yeah, T-Mac gets a shout. Would you say Rodman was the Rick James of basketball? Yeah, pretty much. It's probably a better reference than the Diddy. I should have glanced down at the comments before I thought the Diddy, but he was the original freak-offs and the parties and all that stuff. Big shout for T-Mac joins the Admiral. I know you would, Sue. All these goddamn Spurs players. I'm not going to the parade, man. I'm just going downtown to pick up something. The parade is in the city. Now is the time you try to avoid, because they're going to lock off all the damn streets. Either you go now or stay home all day. Because once you get into the traffic, man, it's long. But today is the parade, and it's a lot of fun to be had. I saw Damon Stoudemire play at high school, cook us like chicken on the grill. Stacks, Stacks. He gets a shot for underrated player as well. Man said he will swap Robinson, Luke Longley. I'd swap him for Dirk. Dirk was more of a 4, but could play the 5. Yeah, T-Mac. Grant Hill. About Grant Hill. No, the injuries fucked him up, but Grant Hill, underrated. He gets a shout. Morning. Edo says, Dad, I told you in August that Frank wouldn't see out the season. And who else? Who else did we see not seeing out the season? Did we see Arteta seeing out the season? We knew Amarim wasn't going to last. We knew Maresca wasn't going to last. There was a point this season where Slot was walking on a thread. He still may not last. They lose to Sunderland today. He could face the axe. But we knew Nuno wouldn't last or survive Forest. It's bad. No doubt. The injuries, those ankle injuries fucked him up. When he and T-Mac went to Orlando, that team was supposed to be it. They were supposed to build around those two guys, and it was supposed to be something special. Reggie gets a shout. Vince Carter gets a shout. You know, and I know we're missing a whole bunch. You know, today's Wednesday. This could go on for a whole nother show. You know, if I decided to just do the whole basketball thing. John Starks gets the shout. Who else? There's so many of them, man. So many. Do you know the first American Big Brother was done in Rodman's house? Really? Did not know that. Come on, guys. Let's get to 50 likes. Hey, man, listen. We must. Can't believe we got to 49, to be honest. Jeremy Lin, you know. Man said Jeremy Lin. Not Marbury or Allen Houston or, you know, Larry Johnson. Not too many Knicks players to name. Yeah, we didn't. There was no mention of Dr. J and what is his name? Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robertson, the first guy to average a triple-double before Russell Westbrook did it twice. You know, there's so much. There's when you have an all-time great conversation, you have to mention all those guys before you go straight to Jokic and Wemby. I'm sorry, you know, Jerome Kersey, you know, Dirk. I said Dirk. Yeah, I said Dirk gets a shout. There's so many. You know, out of all the wave of players in the Pedro Stojakovic and Hedo Turkoglu that were playing for Sacramento that were coming over from Europe, Dirk came and he was the best of that bunch, right? And Dirk will be forever adored by people who hate Miami Heat and who hate LeBron for what he did to them in the final. Because the big three, they fell to Dirk. Because Dirk didn't have another all-star on that team. It was Dirk and them. It was Dirk, Jason Terry, 89-year-old Jason Kidd, Tyson Chandler. These men weren't, you know, world beaters, you know. And we're mentioning D Wade and we're mentioning Chris Bosh and the all times and all that stuff. It's like mad, you know. So yeah, all those names. The best ring of all time. Dirk is just first ballot. You know how they did Belichick dirty when I put them in the Hall of Fame on the first try? If they ever do that shit with Dirk. Matter of fact, if you go to Dallas, I was in Dallas back in October. The street in front of the arena, Dirk Nowitzki Way. It's got a statue there. Keys to the city. He's adored in Dallas. 49 and counting. Was there a raid today? Yeah, we got a raid way earlier from Uncle Views, you know. Big up my bro, Uncle Views, man. Manners and respect to Uncle Views. But let me run back over my predictions just so I don't forget them. I can come back to the end of the video and check them out. I got Villa 2-2. I got Palace winning 1-0. I got City closing the gap today with 3 goals, 3 points, no problem at home. Easy pickings for Fulham. Yeah? And I got Sunderland falling to Liverpool. Glenn Rice, you know. the Laker Glenn Rice or the Charlotte Hornets Glenn Rice? What do you think of SGA? World class. My first NBA Wednesday stream that I did when I started doing the NBA show, I asked my guests, because I had guests at the time. I listed 5 players, right? And I had them ranking for me, and that show went mad. The comment section went mad. I listed 5 players, and these were the 5 players. SGA, Luka, Devin Booker, Wemby, and Paolo Banchero. Those, I said, rank those players for me. And everyone who came on unanimously, well, not unanimously, 1 or 2 was SGA or Luka. And then people were like, nah, bro, it's Wemby. He's 7 feet. He can do all this stuff. And it was a great conversation. But I think SGA is a top talent. I think he gets a lot of foul calls. I think the refs love him. I think the NBA sees him as their future. So he gets protected. He gets a lot of calls, man. He goes to the free throw line. Like, remember when James Harden was having his MVP season at the Houston Rockets, and he was shooting like 16 to 18 free throws a night. You're like, brother, like on a night, man would go to the free throw line 20 times and it would be normal. That is crazy. Westbrook, Ben Simmons, Michael Kidd, Josh Smith, Kendrick Perkins. And you leave these guys in the gym all night, you come back the next day, they have 2 points. If you tell them they could dunk. Matter of fact, go ahead and throw DeAndre Jordan on there. You know, DeAndre Jordan, he shoots better than Steph Curry. He has a 60% field goal percentage. Yeah? So DeAndre Jordan on that team. It's mad. Big up to Ozzy. Brandon Roy, yeah, injury fucked him up. Greg Oden, injury fucked him up. And they both played for Portland. Imagine that. #1 pick. Imagine the spacing. They'd be bumping into one another, man. Yeah. Portland. Hey, this guy right here. All of a sudden, there's no secret that why is the Oregon Goon putting up all these Portland Trailblazers players? And you mentioned you can throw Arvydas Sabonis and Rasheed Wallace on there as well, Goon. You know, Steve Smith and Bonzi Wells and Derek Anderson and Anthony. What's his name? Anthony. The guy that played for UNLV. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Robert Horry, Big Shot Rob. Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah, D-Book, off attacking wise, cold. Don't play a whole lot of defense, though. Big up to Ozzy, man. Yep. Clyde Drexler, cold. Clyde the Glide. Bosh. Hey, we got the 50 likes. That is amazing. I don't have that clip that. The Heat, Glenn Rice. Okay. I think the Lakers, Glenn Rice was good. That Laker team, Derek Fisher, Kobe, Shaq, Rick Fox, Glenn Rice, Robert Horry. Wasn't a bad team. The greatest sixth man of all time, that's probably Manu Ginobili, isn't it? Said Lou Will. It's probably Manu Ginobili. Cameron Payne. I think Ginobili is it, you know, because Ginobili can legitimately say, I made the Hall of Fame while not being a consistent starter. And it's not that he wasn't good enough to start. You remember when James Harden won Sixth Man of the Year when he played for the Thunder? He did. He wasn't a starter. It was Kevin Durant. The starting lineup for the Thunder was Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, Thabo Sefolosha, Serge Ibaka, and who am I? Nick Collison. Jeff Green, who's still in the league, used to start ahead of him, James Harden. But James Harden, he wouldn't start, but he would play heavy minutes. Lou Williams, Cameron Payne, Jamal Crawford. The handles. If the conversation is who has the best handles, then Crawford is in that conversation, not just to be in it, but could possibly win it. Then we're talking about Crawford, we're talking about AI, we're talking about Kyrie, talking about Chris Paul and Steph. You know what I mean? But Iggy gets a shout. What about Sean Livingston, Wahaha? Because Iggy was a starter. Iggy was your starting three. Yeah? Iggy was your starting three in most games. It was Sean Livingston coming on to back up Steph in the point guard, which was criminally underrated, you know. Because when Steph needed a break and you brought on Livingston, there was a drop-off with the three. There was a drop-off with the three ball. But because he was like 6'6", 6'7", could handle the ball, he would get in the post. The point guard that was on him, dead. And that would give Steph a good 15 to 20 minutes to rest and come back in. Sean Livingston, shout. Shout out Gino. Couldn't stand Ginobili. Elite foul baiter. And he used to travel. That motherfucker used to travel. He used to do that. Before they called it the Euro step, man would gather the ball while he was still running. Go behind the back, take 3 more steps, make a phone call, then lay it up. He used to travel. But can't discount what he did. Sean Livingston is a shout. Deadly mid-range. Bad boy. Okay, Dal. If you name another goddamn Portland Trailblazers player, can you leave the home team for a bit? You don't see me here talking about all the damn Knicks players. Can you be objective, my friend? So, now, why not Nicholas Batum? He played for goddamn Portland, or Wesley Matthews, or was it one of the Lopez brothers played for you as well? Was it Brooke or Robin? One of them motherfuckers. Don't know which one. It could be both of them dressed up. Who would be the best team to counter the best team? Ooh, the best team to counter the best team. Magic at the point. I'm assuming we're still talking about basketball. Magic at the point. Magic, Kobe, Bron, Barkley, Shaq. That would be mine. Who is the greatest NBA what if of all time? If I could, I'm trying to go back up and see if I can put his name on the screen. This guy. Yeah, I think if yep. Wow, you clocked it. I was climbing up looking for it because Dal had said it earlier. I was gonna say Grant Hill, but Grant Hill did recover from the injuries and did play. Ooh, shit, AJ. That's a shout. But I love the Brandon Roy shout. I'm not gonna lie. He could handle, he had size, he could handle the ball, he could shoot. The thing is, we never got to see what Brandon Roy best would be. We did see Derrick Rose's best. He won an MVP. We know what he is about. No one could stay in front of him. No one could stay in front of D Rose. We never got to saw Brandon. He never got a chance. Never. And that's crazy. But D Rose is a shout, man. Definitely. You know, maybe Greg Oden. Let me say it before Dal. Since I said he can't name any more Portland players. But he gets a shout. Brandon gets a shout. Definitely. Brandon, bad boy. Greg Oden, too big for his damn bones. You know what I mean? What of them was? What a show today. What a motherfucking show. Where we at? So we got our predictions in. We'll be looking at Arsenal tomorrow. Yeah, all eyes on Arsenal tomorrow. When the whole world, right? Liverpool pick up their win today, City pick up their win, and everyone will sit back and be like, Arsenal prime time. Why is it that you get to play Thursday when everyone else is playing Tuesday, Thursday? We want all eyes on you so you can fuck this up. The technical foul machine. So before Draymond Green, for all the young people in the chat, or the people who never used to watch basketball, or you're getting into it now and you know who Draymond Green is. Before Draymond Green and the referees and technicals, there was this guy with a gray patch of hair in his motherfucking head, named Rasheed Wallace, who would get a technical per game. Man would get technical for staring at the ref. Like he try to intimidate the refs just by staring at him, and they throw him out of the game. The ball don't lie, but this guy was a talented player. He had Hall of Fame talent. He did. When he left Portland, he went to Detroit, and they won the NBA title in 2004. Right? And none of those guys were like really big name all-stars. Right? It was Chauncey Billups, who's in prison right now for gambling. And then there was Rip Hamilton. I think Wahaha mentioned him earlier. Right? Wahaha mentioned Rip Hamilton as, I don't know if it was the most underrated player or something along those lines. But Rip, Tayshaun Prince, who was like 6 feet tall, but his arms were extra damn long and he could handle the basketball. So he was a matchup nightmare. Then you had Ben Wallace, who was strong enough to bench press a damn school bus. Like a 4-time defensive player of the year was playing against Shaq. Yep, the two Wallaces. And I'm missing a player. Chauncey, Rip, Tayshaun, Sheed, and Ben Wallace, the starting lineup, 2004. And between in 03, they were good as well. They were really good. But in 04, they got to the finals and won it with the Lakers. And in 05, I think the Spurs beat them, and I think the Spurs beat them in 07 again. So they only had one NBA title, but they were really good. You know. Yeah, Markelle Fultz passed it. It was never good again. I don't think he was that good to begin with, to be honest. Tayshaun Prince, that motherfucker's arms was so long, man. And the two Wallaces. Why don't play a ring chase no more at the end of their career? I think they still do it. The thing is, when Miami formed their super team, there were players who were ring chasing, like Rashard Lewis, Ray Allen, a couple others that their names slip me at the moment. But the 06 version of the Miami Heat, Gary Payton and Antoine Walker and all these, man. And then there were players who were ring chasing, the guy from Utah. He went to the Lakers late. Matter of fact, he was on the Lakers team that lost in 04 to the Pistons. Karl Malone, I'm talking about. Who was the best team you ever seen, minus the bias of your own team? The best team I ever seen was the Chicago Bulls, the 96 Bulls. And the thing is, my New York Knicks was in the Eastern Conference, so we had to go through them, man, every year. So years when we would get by Indiana and Reggie Miller and them boys, we would run into Chicago. And when Mike was out the league, we run into fucking Indiana and they would knock us out. 70-65 scorelines when the Pistons were in the finals. Yeah, if you scored 80 points on the Pistons, you were winning. Because they didn't score a bunch of points. Yeah, man. It was mad. Yeah, that team was strong, man. That team was something else. That's a huge what if Melo got drafted to the Pistons in 03. Yeah. And that's a good one. That's a good one, yeah. But he went to Denver, won Rookie of the Year. He competed for Rookie of the Year, but he didn't win it. I think LeBron won it. He did this thing at Denver. I was mad that the Knicks traded their old damn roster to get him, and we knew he was coming anyway. I was mad. KD Warriors, even without the bias, no one else comes close. They were good. Man was sweeping up the finals in that. And that's why we'll hold that Toronto championship with a pinch of salt, because KD is Achilles, and they win that. They win that comfortably, just like they had beat the Cavs comfortably. Best Jamaican player of all time, barring Patrick Ewing. It's a slim pickings. Slim pickings to pick for a minute. Right now, we have to fast forward all the way to the beginning here, where you have what's his name? The guy that's playing for the Lakers now. He got Jamaican roots. DeAndre Ayton and the Thompson twins. Yeah, they got Jamaican roots. Can't think of any. I can't think of any, Job. It was Patrick, because Patrick fully claimed, his Jamaican roots. We had to go find out them other motherfuckers had Jamaican ties. I did prefer the Warriors with Barnes, but he choked so hard in 2016 he had to go. Oh, Harrison Barnes. Yeah, he cost himself some money, because had he performed that series, he would have got a big contract. Did you ask the most overrated starting five? Oh, shit. Yeah, Suj. Let me see. Quickly. Most overrated starting five. Hey, man. Yeah, Suj, I'm gonna have to think on that one. I'm gonna have to think on that one, especially we're coming up on 2 hours. Is it on Shane or is it on Uncle's Uncle View's channel? Which one of them is it? Because I see even Northside is still live, so they're probably gonna be late. Since you men are chasing me off the goddamn internet, let's look for Uncle. Is it clean through? Let me see. Bear with me, people. Uncle Views. It's over about views, yeah? Yeah, clean through. So let me just get his link. Yeah, I think I know how to do this now. Boom. Gotta go into my studio settings and do all that shit. And make sure you big up views, man. I'm gonna go over there my damn self and let him know what the badness go. The work rate of that dude, man. I think he gave y'all 3 hours this morning, didn't he? Well, big up to Uncle Views, man. He gave y'all 3 hours. I was forced to give y'all 2, but it's the easiest decision to do. And I say forced, probably the wrong word, but it's the easiest decision to make to sit here and chat football. And then when the chat pushes back with the NBA talk, I double down because it's my shit. You know what I mean? Sooner or later there'll be an NFL guru that pops up in here. Like, you know, even Brian called me out earlier, like, brother, how you going to the parade and you're a Giants fan? I'm going to the parade to go pick me up something. You know what I'm saying? Go pick me up a young thing. Hope my wife ain't watching this. Nah, fuck all that. I'm not going to that shit. Yeah, man. Blessed up to everyone. KD ain't overrated. Nah, KD's that dude, man. He gets a lot of slack for doing what he did, but James Harden, MVP. And how faithful is it, right? That KD, Durant, and Westbrook were all on the same team together, and all 3 of them went on to win MVPs. You know what I mean? Crazy. But big you all up, man. Big you all up. You know when it's time, and it's time to get up out of here. We do our thing. But big you all up, people. Remember this thing? And each other. Until next time, we are gone.
Money fall on you, banana fall on you, Prada fall on you. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you go right. Yeah, beautiful too. My number one in tutu. Sipping bruku tutu. Bow for the result, nothing to discuss. Cause I think we need it all. It rush by the way,